Hallo, Ciao und Kon'nichiwa, and welcome back to the Megane Plays Katawa Shoujo. If you remember in the last episode, whatever our character's name is, I seem to have forgotten in the time it's taken to play this. Well, last time, he agreed to play a game of, I believe, Risk, was it? I'm not sure. In the student council room. No bets or anything. Before that, they wanted, the deaf girl, whom I can't remember her name, and the girl with the pink pigtails, who looks like Tato, with longer hair, whom I can't remember her name. They wanted him to join the student council. So, oh, and also, little announcement, it's finally summer! At least for me, anyway. And I may or may not be uploading. It all depends on what I got on my report card. I'm so nervous. Alright. Well, let's go. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto sorry, my voice. Latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. These poor girls need some student council members beside themselves. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. I will turn this volume down a little. If you can't hear the music, tell me in the comments. What's wrong, Hee-chan? She's in here. That's right, we're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha. This all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still. For some reason, it just seems like it would be so possible. That picture, though! That painting! Why? Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened. Her expression unchanging, Misha is tying something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Okay, student council room. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Wow, I am so sorry, guys. My voice is bleh. Oh my god, sorry. Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old-school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could have at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hee-chan, let's play Risk! Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to! Ha ha ha! Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defeat against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. With your face! Sorry, there's something on my screen. It's a crack or something. I don't know. Hee-chan, Shi-chan wants you to know that you're taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. You smug. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirits and will be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha 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 ha! My freaking voice, man. I am so sorry. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. I can't pronounce the word. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples, as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Oh, I can scroll? I don't have to click! Oh, I can scroll back. Oh, that's so useful. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heart and her heated signing. Wait, please slow down, Shi-chan. Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Ah, awesome. I could just imagine who they would be Hitalia-wise. Like, Shizune could be, England, maybe? Misha, I'm sorry. Names. Misha could be America, and Hiso, maybe Japan? I don't know. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine like with childlike mischief. Oh god, her face! Oh god, did you see her face? Hang on. Look at that face, man. Look at that face. Awesome face is awesome. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Okay, choices again. She has a point. Attack aggressively. It's a trap. It's harder to play defensively here. Let's see. I think playing defensively would actually work. Maybe because I'm defensive myself. Well, let's try playing defensively. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Aww. Well, psh, screw you. Sorry. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump her fist in the air in celebration. Aww, cute. Wah! Hee-chan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Shi-chan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5-army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Hee-chan. Your play needs to be more daring. Ambition, ambition. This girl must be signing really fast, even though we can't see it. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hee-chan. You didn't take enough risks, and when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hee-chan. Damn, what's it to her if I played too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. Oh god, you got closer. Hi! Wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. What's this, reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. She gonna come in for a kiss or something? Giving up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is Shizune trying to talk me into joining the council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, Hee-chan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better? Yeah, I'm just not sure what I want to. Blah. Aww. You backed up. Okay, Hee-chan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could to really have fun. We could play more Risk and maybe one day you could beat me, unless you graduate before that. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Surely you're not that horrible at board games. Board games, blah. Maybe you can play a game you know then, to give you a handicap. I might have said that just to make you feel better after all. Aw, that's cold, Hee-chan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye! That picture looks different, bitch. I'm sorry. I've been reading and looking at a lot of South Park related stuff. One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. The second floor hallway, blah. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so they can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be inviting the open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. I would go and get water, but I don't want to stop the recording and have to restart it. And I don't know how to pause it. So I'll have to go without. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind. So much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I'd anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. Pretty girl! Sorry, I got a text! This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. She's so pretty! The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Maybe she's British. You never know. She looks kind of like France, honestly. I have a reference right next to me. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes, means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Maybe all blind. You never know. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have a detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. Like Tamaki! Sorry, references. I make them. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku? Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. Sorry, I scrolled accidentally. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. Maybe it's a tea-making ceremony? A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use a long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have. It's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, And Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer preparing the drink. I am a robot. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. She is really pretty, though. Which room are you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Library. I am a Japanese bitch. Sorry, I am watched. Yeah, you know. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. I can't get over the fact that Hisao looks like a freaking damn cute boy. Even though he could have a heart attack and die at any moment. Wow. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. I am sorry, slipping into voices! So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself with a faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess I'm only showing my newness here. I see the sweat drop. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic. I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place beyond my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerism seems to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, such as the art and music clubs. I would want to join those. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if the school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Oh, good. That's a relief. I've really let my guard down around this girl to let such a thing slip out. In fact, seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. It's gotten later. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh, time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she doesn't see the sun setting. It just looked like the sun starting to set. It seemed to come as a surprise to her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Hisao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. Probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seemed likely to know in any case. True. It's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking to you, Lily. I can't get over how cute a boy I am. Jesus Christ, I'm weird. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it alright. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. She really is so freaking pretty, and what is... Oh, that's your cane. I was like, is that a knife? Holy crap! It's a cane. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that has been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane that the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. That picture, though! Side by side, my peaceful pace, carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently suited in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. Ooh, pretty library. To the left is the wooden library counter, the library proper being on the right. My voice, frickin'. Shit. I am sorry. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old world air. There doesn't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or on the dorms. Yuuko, are you here? She says it to the thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Somebody fell. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Ouch. I hate when I hit my head on my desk. Ah. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Oh my god, she is so pretty! Oh, she's cute. She's so freaking cute. And she's a Megane, too. Awesome. Welcome to the glasses, people. Hey, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk while I was looking for it. A pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. You're blushing. This is nothing. I've heard worse happen to me. Damn, girl, you got a big chest. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way get inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit the library perfectly. Lily, did you get my message? Message. Oh, the two imported books that arrived? Right, they finally came! I can't believe it took so long, but amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. Bipolar, maybe? Well, weird. He's with me, Yuuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. I sounded like a girl. Hisao. Right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. Can't handle the pressure. Tweak. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get, but her objection is so sincere I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But... I'm weird here. So there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that popped into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books in regularly because the funding of Yamaku is so good. That's probably why. I spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome, and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. My joints pop like nothing else. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's like the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily and snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks, set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library is the odd student sitting at sitting at a desk or either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. Oh, it's you! With your weird problem with your eye. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of lies in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself, as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate, after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. Don't be so surprised! The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath the fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see the part of her face, at least a third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I'm shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember what I walked up to her for. Okay, what should I say? Hi, I'm new here. You sound like Kai. We're in the same class. Or, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Let's go with the kind of more subtle approach. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods, just a little. Oh, okay. I take the seat next to her, and she hides herself behind her book. Life of Pi. Never heard of it. I've heard of the movie! So, sorry for startling you. Sorry again for startling you. I'm Misha. She looks up from her book. I'm Italian. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. No. We are in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako. I'm Hanako. I resist the urge to say, that's a nice thing, just to have something to say, but really, it's the only thing that I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll just check these books out if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers and introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same, and only pretending to immerse in Life of Pi. Wait a minute. Life of Pi as in the, ratio? Or, what was it, radical number? I don't know. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. Oh god. You scared me. She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I gotta go do something! And rushes off. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs toward the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she's nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see, notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What does she look like? Long, dark hair, kinda shy. She had, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuuko, would you excuse me? I better try and find her. Sure. I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right. I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing. I was just looking for some books, and then she got this fit and ran off. The most offending thing I can think of was that I might have looked at her general direction a few times. Well, she is a very timid girl. You have to be very careful around her. She can be very jumpy, I think, and she's not accustomed to talking with other people. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuka doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the living room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. That's a good quote. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. It makes me smile, and she blushes heavily. What? Did that sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on their desks really like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing. But I have to do it. I hope that's not too inconvenient for you. Oh, yeah. I want some books, but I left them over there because I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprised myself with that too, honestly. At least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kind of started reading books to fill that time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else, and just checks out my books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Okay, guys. Seeing as it's like 42 minutes now, I am going to stop playing for today. And I got a question for all you people. In the comments, if you would be ever so freaking awesome as to help me come up with a sign-off and what to call you, all you amazing people out there who are watching. An idea for a sign-off I had is that my sign-on is hello in the 3 languages of the Axis powers. Should my sign-off be the, how many different languages in the, wait, should it be 3 other languages from the Allied powers? I'm not really sure. And I'm thinking of calling you guys the Glasses People or the Megane Army or something like that. If you would be ever so awesome as to, I don't know, give me some suggestions, then that would be really cool. And I guess that's it. See you, Gilbirds. Bye.